everybody. It's been such a long time since I uploaded on here, but thank you very much for the comment. It's really lovely to get interaction on such an old video, and I hadn't even thought about that video in such a long time. But yes, the comment about if we saw what we wanted to see, then wouldn't things be simpler? And yeah, definitely. And then why do we see things we don't want to see? And I got a message like from spirit. It kind of bleeds into why do we experience things that we don't really want to experience? Like, why do we experience negativity? And the first message I got in terms of why do we see things we don't want to see, if we're able to see what we want to see, like, are we choosing it? The answer is yes. What I mean by that, or what the message was in regards to that, was that at all times we're seeing things at our own soul level. So if we're in a high vibe state, like if we're feeling good, do you notice how you tend to focus on the good because you feel good? Whereas if you're feeling negative and if you're feeling down, however much other people like try to cheer you up, you're only seeing what you want to see. So ultimately, at all times, we are seeing everything from our soul perspective. Not to say that seeing negativity is bad. There's no good and bad in the world. Everything is good if you change your perspective on things. So that's where that whole, like, if we're choosing what we want to see, why do we see bad things? Then it bleeds on to the whole, like, why do we experience negativity? Why do we experience sadness? One of the reasons is because our soul chose to experience that for our own soul growth. The planet Earth is actually the planet of growth. So everybody on this planet, including animals, including, all living things, we're here to grow in some way. In order to grow, we need to experience contrast. We need to experience contrast, and in order to experience contrast, we have to experience negativity. For example, I was raped. I had a child in my body, and I lost my child. And that was one of the hardest things I have ever experienced in my whole life. Why would I experience that? Like, why would I choose that, Consciously, I didn't like it, obviously. I was sad, I was grieving, I was depressed, but the fact that I experienced it means there's a part of my soul that wanted to experience it for a higher reason, for a higher purpose. And when I tune into that, when I tap into that energy, I know that if I hadn't lost my child, I would never really know what it's like to lose a child. So ultimately, there's a part of me that wanted to experience it so that I can empathize with those who lost a child and with those who were raped. Yeah, you can be compassionate, you can listen, you can be nice, kind, but if you don't experience it yourself, it's very difficult to put yourself in their shoes. So why do we experience negativity? Well, it's ultimately for our soul growth, but also when you experience devastations in life, you become wiser in some ways. If we're choosing what we want to see, why do we see things we don't want to see? Why do we experience things we don't want to experience if we're choosing our experiences? In terms of why we see things we don't want to see, it's because we're constantly seeing things from the state of consciousness that we're at. There is actually no positive or negative. It's just the law of polarity, where everything is neither good or bad. It's just our perceptions and our perspectives that determine whether something is good or bad. And yeah, that's the message I got thank you for listening to this tangent. I also went into why we experience things that are negative, but yeah, it's just like a whole thing, you know. And thank you for the comment, because I hadn't even watched that video in years, or however long it's been since it was uploaded, but it was nice to think about things like that. So thank you for watching, and I also have another channel which I'll link. Please feel free to go check that out, because I tend to post more on that channel now. Yeah, so take care everybody, and follow for more.